as things heat up and continue to escalate in the world, and we move even closer to global conflict, I think it's worthwhile to take a step back and to examine our underlying beliefs and assumptions about war. The pervading ideology amongst many of our leaders and even a good chunk of the population is that war is a necessary evil in order to create more peace, justice, and order in the world. It's just something that we have to do. And I disagree. And you could say that that makes me naive or Pollyannish. Could say that I'm just a big baby that needs to grow up and swallow the cold, hard facts of this world. And that might be true. But I want to offer a different perspective here. And that is that evolutionarily speaking, we're all a bunch of big babies and we're going through a process of growing up together. Now, through the process of growing up, developmentally speaking, psychologically speaking, even spiritually speaking, one of the keys there is being able to pay attention and to notice what works and what doesn't. So, in other words, to be able to learn from the consequences of our actions in the past, to realize what actions lead to more suffering, what actions lead to less suffering. And I think this is a transition period, a phase that we're moving through right now to actually step up and to have enough awareness to realize and ask the question, is what we're doing working? Does war work? Does it actually move us closer towards our goal of peace, or does it not? And to do that, that takes the ability to be able to step back and to actually pay attention and be aware. Now, we seem to be caught in what would be almost like an adolescent phase of this development. And we seem to be addicted, intoxicated by this belief that if we just have another war, just one more war, just a little bit more, then this time it'll work. Just a little bit more control. If the good guys win and stamp out the bad guys, if we can just make them disappear, if we can make them adopt our way of life, we have the best lifestyle. And if we can just make them see that finally, that we're right and they're wrong, then they'll just go along with it. And then there'll be peace and everything will be fine. Well, how many times in history has that actually worked? And if we even just look in recent history, has that created more peace or has that created more backlash and more instability in the world? So this is sort of the tipping point that I see ourselves at right now. Now, how do we navigate that tipping point? Well, what is the alternative to war? The alternative is something like dialogue, something like discussion. And again, that sounds very Pollyannish, very nice. We should all just talk and get along. But what are our choices here? What's the alternative? Now, I can imagine that maybe someone might be thinking here, well, how are you supposed to have dialogue if those other people on the other side don't want to talk to me or believe that I shouldn't exist, that I don't even have the right to exist as a human being? Okay, I hear that. My belief personally is that people are good. I do believe people are inherently good. I believe that there is a light in everybody, in every human being, in every group of people. And I believe that the best leaders are able to identify the light in other people, even when it seems impossible to find. And that may be really squishy, but again, what's the alternative? If war only guarantees more war and more destruction and more suffering, is it worth giving something else a shot?